24th of September 2014. For those of you that are following the MRAP issue in Rey Oaks, I submitted a public records request for information that they time-stamped on the 10th of September. That was 14 days ago. I'd had a conversation with the city attorney and they wanted extra time, but I gave her reasons as to why I didn't necessarily want to give them extra time, and I'll get to that in a minute. In the text box below, I will put a list of the items that I asked for in regards to their mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicle. And I will also put the text of a letter that I sent to the mayor and council members from Rey Oaks, California. I submitted this public records request on September 10th, 2014 in the afternoon, and I dated it the 11th because I came in late in the afternoon and I thought it would only be fair to give them the full day. And those of you that have done public records requests know that there's a 10-day period for them to respond to you. The next day, which would have been the 11th, Chief Ron Langford of the Rey Oaks Police Department took the address off of my public records request and came to the neighborhood where my shop is located, and that's the mailbox and the mailing address that I use, and questioned 3 of my neighbors about me. The reoccurring theme was, is he dangerous, referring to me? Do we, as in Rey Oaks Police Department, have anything to worry about with this guy, in reference to me? And do I hate the police and do I hate the government? Not what kind of guy is he, how well do you know him, any of those type of things, but getting directly into maligning me in some way, shape, or form. And in the words of one of the individuals, he said it was like they were trying to put me into a box to make me look like a bad guy or a nutcase so that they could, come after me or something. All this because I asked some questions about the MRAP related to the insurance and the authorities that you have to allow other people to use it. What are the requirements of becoming a member of your SRT team? And you come to my neighborhood and question people about me, and not just random questions about me. Is he a dangerous person? I don't know, how do you get to that point? When I was at the city council meeting that I attended in regards, I was invited for the dog park initially, and I noted that there was a number of police officers. It looked like there was about 20, and they had their canine dog there, their canine unit. I guess it's a bomb-sniffing dog or something along those lines. And everyone was in uniform, like there was a big show of force, but I had to go at a certain time, so I went out, and these are the questions that I asked Chief Langford. First I told him that the Supreme Court ruled in 2005 that police aren't responsible for, quote, protecting the public, but to enforce the law, and he acknowledged that. So, he keeps up on those things. So then I asked, why did you then put rescue on the side of the MRAP? And then if you read in the DOD forms, it doesn't say anything about a rescue vehicle or firefighting apparatus or anything along those lines. It says specifically for counter-drug and counter-terrorism. And I'll get to more of that in the video on the MRAP. And then I asked him if he was incapable of securing a scene for 30 minutes, or even an hour for that matter, to wait for the sheriff's SWAT team. They're a professional SWAT unit, and they have their own armored vehicle. I believe they have a Lenco Bearcat. And previously, 2012, Chief Langford stated in the paper that he'd be willing to wait for the sheriff's department to arrive, and it'd take 30 minutes. So would it take too much time, or if you had to wait for 30 minutes, if somebody had barricaded themselves in a house? I mean, you could collect intelligence during that time frame. You could establish communication, open up lines of communication, possibly, things along those lines. But no, you have to have an MRAP just in case something like that happens. But then that goes back to the DOD assertions on use of the equipment. It doesn't say anything about hostage rescue and so forth. But, you know, he had previously stated that it took 30 minutes for the sheriff's department to show up, but during his presentation he said it was an hour and they might have to fill out paperwork, which is total nonsense. You handle all that in advance. And I'm sure the sheriff's SWAT team would respond if called upon. They're a pretty good group of people over there, and they know what they're doing, and they're highly qualified to do the jobs that they do. But I submitted a letter to the council in regards to our Chief Langford showing up and questioning my neighbors. I don't know who else he's questioned, but I did speak with 3, and I have a recording of one of those conversations. But is this standard operating procedure for a chief? Instead of going and getting me the information that I requested as a citizen, you're going to come and investigate me? Now, I understand that he hasn't technically broken any laws, but he has made himself to look like a total asshole, and somebody that really doesn't respect the public and thinks that because someone's asking a question that you know, they're out to cause harm or something along those lines. It just kind of makes me wonder now, what are you hiding from me, and what are you protecting? Because it's been 14 days and I haven't received any answers to my questions. So that, and some of this would have been pretty basic stuff for you to fill out, like, you know, what qualifications do you need to be part of the special response team in the Rey Oaks Police Department. Anyways, read the text box. You can see what I've got. I'll be following up on this when my records request comes back, and the information that I have, because I do want to get into some more details on the MRAP. There's a couple of links that I've provided to some Senate hearings and testimony that was given in regards to the use of the MRAP, and there's some other things about the government giving out bayonets, you know, 12,000 bayonets to police departments. What do cops need bayonets for? I don't know. But just other reasons to question a lot of what's going on, and I still to this day don't see a need or a reason for it, because there's no terrorist targets in Rey Oaks, California. They're an incorporated municipality that comprised of like 0.48 square miles. So, you know, your guess is good as mine. But yeah, I'd be interested. You know, I mean, I would like to, you know, work with the city on getting my information and my request filled. But you know, if your cops are gonna stare me down in the local grocery store parking lot and point me out to their friends, and your chief is going to come asking questions about me and make me out to look like I'm a bad guy who hates police, then you know, maybe we need to go in a more legal fashion and handle some of this business. Anyways, peace.